Ambition Our podcast on Worth the Wait Radio. You ready?
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
Welcome to the Ambition Hour podcast. It's your girl, Claudia Renee, on the airways, and this is episode 112.
Where the players dwell.
We are here. Dang, I thought I was going to be really chill vibe with the mic down here, but I feel so much more comfortable with the mic right here in front of my face. Hello, everybody, and welcome yet again to another episode of the Ambition Hour podcast. I am so excited, so grateful to be here, and like how we start each and every single episode, we start off for what we are grateful for. So this week I wanted to share with you guys what I'm grateful for. And something that I'm very grateful for is my job. Now, in these times right now, there are some people who are not 100% sure about how their jobs are going to go, how everything is going to end up, at least on their end. And there is also some jobs that are just closing down, and some of them are even laying people off, like in a time like this where there is like a pandemic happening, and the economy is just going kind of crazy as well. The streets are like there's either nobody outside or from what I've seen, like there's no traffic, which is spooky because it's like there's no traffic. It takes me 20 minutes to get to work. And so right now I just feel very grateful for my job because they're still open. Even though I would much rather be at home working, I guess. I would much rather be doing that. I feel like I'm a lot more productive in my own environment. Obviously, I feel like there's just some of us who are born that way, and those are the ones that are supposed to capitalize on that, because those are the ones that are going to chase their dreams and make things happen. And so, but I'm just grateful for my job just because, man, there's people who are losing their jobs, and they don't know where their next paycheck is going to come from, especially because we don't know. Everything is changing so fast. And shout out to the jobs that are letting people work remotely. I am working remotely some days, so that's a plus. That's good. My office is private owned. We don't have clients, all this stuff. So there's been, need to change it. So I'm grateful for my job. Very, very grateful for my job. Like I said, right now it's like really spooky with everything that's happening. There's no traffic. That's one thing. And it's like you can't really go to the grocery store like how you're normally used to, or even eating out. I feel like even eating out, it's like something we're so accustomed to do, and something that we're so like, yeah, no, I need to go and eat out, and or like I don't really feel like cooking and all this stuff. And then right now, since at least for me, you feel like you can't go to a restaurant or something like that because you don't know, at this point, like, people aren't showing symptoms.
We gotta be protected.
Yeah, like people aren't showing symptoms. People aren't showing symptoms, and they're testing positive for it, so you kind of like freak out a little bit. And then you start coughing, and you're just like coronavirus.
Got that fucking rock out that Rona.
Like, and then you're just like, no, I'm tripping. It's just, because if whatever reason, like allergies, you're just, you've been talking all day. For me, yeah, it's so many different reasons why it happens to me. So yeah, it's just very interesting to see like how everybody has been reacting, how jobs are reacting, how places are closing down, how traffic has been. And it's like, it's real. I recently saw something that happened, that over 600 people died in Italy. And like my mom kind of like brought it into perspective for me, because she's just like, they're not like doing funerals for these people. Like they don't have any space for that. They don't have space to like really bury these people. So imagine like your loved one passing away from something that's like a virus, and not being able to really hold a ceremony for them or honor them or anything like that. So just because of how many people are passing away because of this. So Something that I've been trying to do is stay very positive and stay away from like so much social media. Like, yeah, I like go in and like I check out, but mainly to just engage with the people who I want to engage with. And also people that are posting positivity, like I want to go onto their pages and I want to see what they're up to. A lot of people are doing different things like going on live and playing music and I guess like critiquing it or whatnot. And I think that's pretty dope too, because it's allowing all of us to get together through music, and that's beautiful. Music is the best. Something that's been helping a lot too for me is music. Of course, my favorite podcast. I listened to last week's episode, which was awesome. I just want to say thank you again to have Matt for sliding through last week. That was a lot of fun.
Definitely a good time.
Oh, I have Hob in the building. If you didn't know,
We here.
I actually have. I'm gonna need you to drop all the songs.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Drop this week.
So, all right, boom. No, I'm kidding. All right, so CAB, he dropped, he dropped Big Dreams because my boy got big dreams and shit. He don't really be sleeping like that. And then I dropped Awake because, I'm wide awake. I don't be sleeping like that. No. And then Like a Lick because we be getting that money, or, we be spending that shit. So then, and I was laid back Sosa, Like a Lick. Carlos CAB got some Mercedes talk that he wants you to hear. I told y'all I don't see I DC, which is I don't care. And
because we don't
Sosa
care, bitch.
is letting it know that he wants everything. So that was even written, man. I killed that shit. So I'm just gonna get myself. So yeah, go on the streamings. Do your Googles, do your research, and look us up. Worth the wait, the best label out.
Thing with Ambition Hour podcast water. This thing keeps you hydrated. If you've been on the show, you know.
You know that Ambition water hit different.
Ambition water hit different, especially after some Hennessy. Okay, dang. Hennessy just brought back so many memories from episodes. I can't believe this is episode 112.
We got ourselves on that. Where the players dwell.
Listen, I was listening to some 112 before we started the episode, and I had a really great time jamming out to the hits from back in the day. It's crazy because like there's songs now that came out when I was younger, and now they're like throwbacks. So listening to 112 was pretty cool before the episode. It was just a really cool vibe. It was funny because Hal was just like, oh, kind of like what gets you like in the groove to like podcast. And then it's like maybe listening to another podcast does that hype you up? And then I'm like no. And then I realized that it really is music. Music is what like hypes me up. So I want to give a shout out to Hav because he was the one who like made me play music. And I started off with Doja Cat. And Doja Cat is somebody whose album I recently listened to. She dropped an album in December, this album in December, but I recently listened to it like last week and I fell in love with it. It's such a great project, and I had it on repeat for like a couple of hours, I would say, and it's called Hot Pink. My favorite song from there is Addiction, but the whole project is good, and she has Gucci Mane on it. And Smino, the song with Smino was really, really good. But yeah, so that was something new that I listened to that I really enjoyed. I don't think I ever got to talk about Chilombo, which is the Janae Aiko album. Really good album. Really enjoyed it. I loved it. The song that I love the most is Trying to Smoke. And I would say second comes in at BS because that shit goes hard. Yeah, those two I would say. And then the other songs they're good. I feel like they go very well with the album. And yeah, I really enjoyed that album. And then the Meg Thee Stallion album, Sugar. That whole album, I have no complaints about it. I just listened to it a couple of times and I feel like she has a couple of good songs on there. I haven't revisited, but I am here to say that I am still listening to You Ain't Gonna Look at Me That Like I Know. And I'm not even gonna hold you because I've just been listening to that. There's times where like I'll just have it on repeat, especially with everything that's going on right now. Like I feel like an album like that just like takes me away from, takes me away and it kind of puts me like in a really good mood. So the album was really good dropping when it did. I know that J Balvin dropped an album called Colores, and I love J Balvin and Bad Bunny like together as a group. So when they come out with projects separately, it's kind of like bittersweet because it's like, oh yeah, I love you guys, but at the same time, like I want you guys together. But I haven't finished J Balvin's album because today, well, I was listening to something like over. Oh, I have this Queen's playlist, right? And it's basically the entire Snow Allegra album, the entire Ari Lennox album, the entire Summer Walker album, and the entire SZA album. So it's those four albums because I can listen to those albums in their entirety. So I made a playlist because
On Apple Music, you should go follow her.
yeah, like, exactly. Audie underscore 3000. But yeah, so that was just something that I created for myself because I know how obsessed I am with that. So I've been in between that and the Bad Bunny album. So other new music has been a little hard for me to listen to. I would love to say that I'm like gonna dedicate more time to listen to new music with this quarantine, but it's like your girl is living the same way she was before. I just can't go, to the supermarket as often as I would like, or just like restaurants as much as I'm normally used to.
The ones that you usually frequent.
Yeah, the ones that I'm like, or like the gas station. I'm terrified to go to the gas station. You know how dirty the gas station is? Like, I love them, but I'm straight. And that kind of sucks for businesses because we're starting to think that way. Like some of us are just kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna eat at home. We're cooking, spending some good quality time in the kitchen. I know I have because I need to. Like I need to make sure that I'm taking care of myself on my end. I need to make sure that I'm doing my part. That's the thing. It's very important to do your part. Something that I did want to share. Because okay, so if you follow me on Instagram, then you know that I did like a Yo Perro Sola video, right? Shout out to Hub. Shout out to Hub for being my cameraman for that. He
Got you.
did his thing.
As you do for me too.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Gang gang. And it was just a lot of fun. It was so weird, first of all, because you're like in Disney World. I shot it where I said I was going to shoot it. I said I was going to shoot it in Disney World. And I shot it in all four parks. Oh, no, I didn't shoot it in Animal Kingdom. But that's because this is what happened. So I'm going to share the story because I haven't had time to talk about it. So, okay. So we ended up going to Animal Kingdom on Friday night. We got to Orlando Friday night. And it was so cool because we got to Orlando right on time to make it to the ride that we had a fast pass for. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with fast passes are basically something that you can schedule ahead of time before your Disney trip. And once you have that fast pass, you have a certain amount of time that you're able to go to that ride, skip, and it's definitely a shorter line. And you,
for sure,
yeah, it's like definitely a shorter line. You're probably not in the line for any more than 10 minutes. And you're on the ride right away. So we got to ride on that ride. We got to ride first row, right? Did we ask for that first row?
Well, for 7 doors?
No, for Mount Everest. No, I think we
just got
we just got regular ones. Okay, so with that one we were able to we got on and we got
front row, but we didn't ask for it. We just got it.
Oh, that's what happened. Is that so? And we got to see the sunset. So this ride. What do you mean? In Mount Everest, we did get to see the sunset.
No, I know, but it's just weird that I didn't think about that.
Yeah, okay. So this is like, okay, so if you've never been to Disney, and this I totally am sharing because I did want to share this with you guys because I mean, okay. So I have a slight obsession with Disney at this point. If you have not already seen it, I've been to Disney 3 times in the past couple of months, and I love it there. Why? Because I get to live. Um, I get to live not like a kid. I get to just live as myself and just experience that as an adult and just be like, oh wow, just be in awe of like the beauty of how just people creatives are.
Yeah, I feel you because it does like it's not so much feel like a kid. It's kind of like the I could just feel free here. I
Yeah,
could do
I feel
anything
like I
here.
could just do
It's
anything.
judgment free.
Exactly.
You know, anything's not gonna get too rowdy. It's a safe place.
Exactly.
You're gonna do your thing, and
E-
whatever you
exactly.
I'm saying, and just doing
Exactly.
you, and then like kind of just like going on these exciting rides.
Exactly. So I feel like it's just a nice little it's a nice little getaway. I definitely see it as something that it's just like a quick little weekend thing. You know, sometimes you can't always go somewhere tropical or sometimes you just can't always go. Sometimes your budget consists of Orlando. And you know, sometimes you have to take it. So but yeah, so back to the trip. So the fast pass, we get on the fast pass, we get to see the sunset. It was really dope. This ride is one of the best rides. I remember the first time I rode it, like I rode it and I had the time of my life, and I think I've ridden it since then probably like 4 or 5 times. Dope as fuck, love it. And so we ended up getting on the safari as well. We were able to get on the time like that. We were able to get on the with the fast pass. So actually no, because they had a really short waiting time.
No, yeah, because we ran super late, so we didn't make that one.
So then yeah, so then we got one that it was like the 10-minute wait, and it was like less than that. It was like 5 minutes because the park was damn near closing.
It was just the walk of the line, you know.
Yeah, it was just the walk of the line pretty much. And so what was crazy was that the animals were out, they were crossing, and then
they were feeding.
They were feeding them. What got me was the tiger. Oh my god, she was gorgeous. Right?
Isn't that a lion then? Oh
wait. No, the lion is lion, the one who was sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tiger, and it's Nala.
Yeah, basically that's what we saw. That's who we saw.
Yeah, that's who we saw, and she was like so beautiful. They had like a light that was kind of like shining, and it was dark outside, but you can still see her, and it was so beautiful.
It was majestic.
It was and like in times like that, like you would think that you would take your phone out and take a picture, but then you figure it's dark and you're not going to get the best. To me, I didn't even think about that until after the fact, but I definitely was so captivated by that I didn't even think to like take a picture because I was just so in the moment. Something that I decided to do is just also limit my social media as well, because that's something that's really good to do when you go to Disney. I learned from my first trip when I first went. It's just a really good thing to do. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And then the next day, of course, we had like a great time. We got to go on rides and do the whole thing, and I got to meet Mickey. I was really excited about that. Like, insert pictures of Claudia with Mickey. Boom, 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 boom. Like,
boom, 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 boom.
There was just so like it was the best thing ever. Like, I haven't met Mickey like when I was like a kid. Like the last time I would say the last time I saw Mickey when I was probably like 12 years old. So that was more than 15 years ago. And yeah, so imagine like not having seen Mickey for that long, and then you see him, and then like I was excited. Not as excited as some of the girls that were leaving the rooms crying. I mean, it's not a judgment zone. I just had never seen it before. Like, they had met Mickey and they were really emotional about it.
Now, when she says girls, she means ladies.
Yeah, no, they were ladies.
They were grown.
No, okay, let's say they were like college age.
They were grown.
Yeah, they were over 18. They were over 18. I was like, oh shit. But yeah, so I had a lot of fun recording the video.
But shout out to all you guys that do cry when you guys see Mickey or run into your favorite characters.
I mean, I don't know how to act when I meet him.
So, like, look at Steph when she met Tigger.
Oh yeah, Steph. Oh yeah, when she met Tigger, she was really excited. She was really excited. It was really cool. I I love that. See, that's the thing. Like, you just don't know how you're going to act until you get there, and then once you get there, it's like, oh my god, like I'm like just so happy to be here. And I got to ride on, like how Hav said, we got to ride on the Seven Dwarfs, which is a really cool ride. You just have to experience it. I'm not saying that Disney has to, like, cop me something, but I'm just saying y'all should. I have a lot of fun at that park. But yeah, I just wanted to share that because something that was kind of like messing with me was that everything that's going on right now, it's kind of like, how could you? And it's like, no, you don't understand. But yeah, it was definitely a great thing to experience. And I wanted to share that with all of you guys because, it's always good to share. I don't know. I always feel like it's good to share a cool story like that because it's happy. It's not about the virus. It's not about, you know, and I'm talking with y'all. Like, I'm real comfortable. Like, I have the mic on my knee right now. Like, I feel like I'm about to spit something to y'all, which I am always. Don't ever forget that. So I was thinking of like things of to talk to you guys about, and something that has been in my mind is, how they have that phrase, oh, she looks like she'll ruin your life, or she looks like she'll ruin my life. And so that's something that I have been thinking about because I wonder if and what are, I guess, like the red flags that men see that just let them know, like, if I were to mess with her, like, either I would ruin her life or she would ruin my life. And it's so crazy how we're so quick to judge when that happens. We're so quick to just be like, oh man, like, I'm way too toxic for that person. You know what I mean? Or based on what the other person sees, I guess, on your social media, social platforms, even what it is that you do as a job, is just kind of like, oh, that's like, she'll ruin me or something like that. And it's so interesting because in a sense, I can't say that we all ruin each other, but I would also say that we don't do it on purpose. So a lot of the times, we're in communication with somebody, or we're getting to know somebody, or we even just have like a friendship already with them, a long-term friendship with them, or a solid friendship with them. And just from, like, them being around us and us being around them, and just kind of like going through the hardships that happens in life, you kind of like tend to ruin them in a sense. Speaking from personal experience, for me, there's some things that I have that some of my friends have ruined for me, because it's just like, damn, if that's what that is, like, I don't want that. I guess in terms when it comes to like relationships or whatnot, because you just see that and you're like, but then you see other relationships and you're just like, okay, it's not that. You start to see certain patterns um with other things that people, I guess, are just like pushing on you, or not pushing on you, but yeah, kind of like pushing on you, because I feel like without people really noticing, they don't know that they're pushing shit on you. And they don't know that that could possibly ruin you in a sense. So when I hear that term, I know it's like a form of a slang, and I know that it's like a joke or something like that, but we don't really recognize that sometimes that does happen within relationships, is that someone is going to, in a sense, there's going to be something ruined, in a sense, because it could be through infidelity, it can be through dishonesty, it can be through miscommunication, it can be however. And so, excuse me, and so with that happening, you just have to be mindful. You just have to be mindful. I always preach on this podcast on just like being yourself, and that's because that's something that I always strive to be. It's just like myself. Like, it was so hard for me to record the dancing for the Yo Perreo Sola. Like, I honestly did it because I said I was gonna do it. I had, accountability partners kind of like telling me, like, hey, so what idea do you have, or what is it? And then you have, like, I had my brother who was just kind of like, fuck these people, like, like, just be you, just kill it. And so I just felt like the more and more that I did it, I just felt more and more comfortable and realized that people either were cheering me on or that they were like just looking at me and just being like, what is she doing? And it's just like, I'm dancing. Come join me, or just or just keep it moving. And so it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of thought to it. At first it was, like I said, it was just like it's that's who I am, like all the time. Like I'm always dancing. I always
Joke, kid around.
yeah, joke, kid around, have a little attitude, um, like the head movements, like all of that. That's like, that's really me. So that was a really cool, dope video to make. And didn't get reposted by Bad Bunny, but that w- that was the intention. So I always try to do things with intention. I did say that I wanted him to, I would just love for him to just at least see it. That's all. So, if you're watching this, all you gotta do is just go to my Instagram, Audie Ambition, and go to that video and just tag him. And you just never know. Like, your favorite host just might be, Perreando Sola on Bad Bunny's Instagram page. Like, I'm just saying, like, a girl can only dream. Like, it's not like I had
Hey, and stranger things have happened.
I know, right? Like, who knows? Like, you just never know. So yeah, so that was a really cool interesting thing to do. I thought I was, like I said, I said I was going to do it, so I did it. Um Something else that I wanted to speak on was, okay. So the basketball is closed. The barber shops are closed.
It's shut down, Claudia.
It's shut down.
Well, the season's canceled.
Okay, the season is canceled.
Or suspended, postponed.
It's suspended. There you go. Okay, so the basketball is suspended. School is closed. Now the barber shops and nail salons have all closed. And so they're claiming that they're gonna be giving people $1,000. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the whole thing of them giving people money. See, now people on the internet are acting, on Beyonce's internet, might I add, that they will not take the $1,000 if they gave it to them. Now, let me tell you, because the good Lord told me that I should not deny thee money. So I will take thee because
I am in need.
because I am in need.
Can't stay off the weed.
Because let me tell you, if you're gonna give me $1,000, here is my routing number. Can you sell it to me? Because I'll take it that way too. So it's interesting. Just seeing the back and forth of that on the internet, and then claiming some people that they should be getting more money or whatnot. I definitely feel that families with kids need to friggin' get more money, because my supervisor told me that she spent about $300 on her kids. She only got 2. Imagine people that got more than 2 kids. That's a lot of money that they are spending on, these kids are not in school right now, so because they shut down the schools. So something that I am a big advocate about is a lot of these moms need to be home with their kids at this time.
Facts.
Like, that's just me. Like, I feel like if I was a mom, I'm not even a mom, and I just want to be home right now because of that. Because, like, you just don't know, guys. You just don't know.
Yeah, everyone, please protect yourself.
Yeah,
sure
like, you
safe.
just don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to go down. You don't know none of that stuff. So you end up just, like, going around, like, la, 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 spreading shit you don't even know.
At Disney,
At-
pero sola.
Man, exactly. Like, I have, like, that's the thing. I have no symptoms, but then what if like I don't know. That's something that was messing with me a lot mentally this week. Not that I regretted going, but you
feel a little shameful.
yeah, like I feel a little
like,
like
damn.
I feel like a little
people should really take this serious.
shameful. I also feel in some way irresponsible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and responsible ass. Can't even talk to you.
Yeah, boy, you was right there with me. I got pictures.
You got pictures?
I do got pictures. But yeah, so that was just messing with me mentally because of course, you have a parent who is telling you like, cancel the trip, don't go, like this is really serious or whatnot, and then you're just kind of like, no, like I already made plans for this trip, like, and then you see people who are like visiting Miami saying the same thing, and then but it's just it wasn't that serious, guys.
Not as it is now.
Yeah, like it
A
wasn't just
lot
as
more states are
it was.
closed.
Yeah, like it was not as serious when we made the decision to go, and then the parks were still because of it. So then you think about it, you're like the parks are still open, so you just got to be careful. But then you just never know because, like I said, the whole thing with the no symptoms and you just at this point we just all have to be very careful, and yeah. So I'm happy that I was able to share that because that was something that was bothering me, and I always want to be transparent in some type of way. I guess I always like I always be like I ain't gonna share shit this week because I be feeling like some people will be listening and using that shit against me. Like, ew, mind your business. Like I see how it is with like people like I guess with like bigger podcasts like who they get like a text or they get like a comment like a little slick comment that happens to me. If you didn't know, that happens to me. That something that I said gets back to me because I said it on the podcast. And I just want to let y'all know that yeah, we cool and all, but mind your business. We cool and all, but mind your business. So I've been seeing a surge of a lot of people doing things on live, and I have yet to discover what it is that I feel like I would be good at in doing live. Also, I feel like a lot of the people that are doing this are people that are staying home full time, and I'm not staying home full time. So I don't know if this happens to other people that are like working their job still, because I don't know who is still working their job and possibly still chasing, their passion and trying to stay consistent in what it is that they're putting out as far as content goes. So I don't know if this is something that somebody else is struggling with. I'm just gonna share it, because I see other people doing lives, and they kind of like have an organization behind, like there's organization behind it, and it's like okay, so it's just like how is it that I can find the time to be able to work the full time job that I have, and also create within this time that I'm supposed to be quarantining, um, because it's just like it's just weird. It feels like you're on vacation, but you're still going to work. It's so weird what's happening. It's so spooky. And then the weather outside is so nice. It's been so pretty every day. Like you would want to go to the beach. Like that's like the scarier part because you're like I can't even go anywhere right now. I can't the supermarket like there's things like there's certain things that you wanted that you didn't know that you wanted to do until you couldn't do them anymore.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, and then it's like the weather is perfect, everything is perfect, like the sun is out longer, the sun is beaming, freaking beaming. I cannot blame these people who did not cancel their trips down here. I cannot blame them, and I can only imagine how cheap the tickets were to come down here for some of them that did come last minute. But y'all gotta stay home. Like, y'all gotta stay home. They be getting me with those doctors that be holding on the that they be holding on the things. Why they do the doctors like that? They got the doctors holding that thing like, we are coming to work, so you can stay at home.
I'll be at home.
I to tell my boss, call my boss and let my boss know that please, because I I felt so productive working at home. Like it was it was great. I saw so like I don't know. I felt like I did a lot more. Um I did a lot more. It's funny because there's so many different things on the internet that have to do with it. it's kind of hard not to talk about it. There's like almost everything, and everything has almost stopped. I know that new music has dropped. The weekend, I saw the performance that he had on Jimmy Kimmel.
We'll give you a round of applause here too. The weekend.
Yeah, and his performance was really, really dope. And what was cool was that we saw his performance, and right after we saw, I guess it was like a short, movie.
Yeah, it was a short film.
Yeah, it was like a short film, and it was a continuation from the performance in the video, and it was really trippy. Ain't gonna lie, I was tripped out. I don't
We
know.
was already up there too.
I don't think that I have recovered from the trippiness that I experienced.
I'm still in a day.
Yeah, like no, like the lights aren't helping either. But yeah, so that was a pretty cool short film, like how Hav said. I know a lot of my friends are Weekend fans. I too am a Weekend fan. I haven't heard the album though, so I can't give a full review on it just yet. I know that Hav is waiting to listen to it
Definitely.
in a certain setting. Can't blame him.
Mm-hmm.
I might do the same, but in my bed.
I'm gonna get in my zone. Shout out to the weekend.
It's great. It's great. I always share concert concert what is it? Fun facts about myself. So guys, what is it that Hav says? Hav says for those taking notes.
For those taking notes.
For those taking notes, I saw the weekend perform at the Fillmore.
I was there.
I was there in 2012. Okay, so that is, and for those of you who aren't from Miami, or maybe are not familiar with the Fillmore, it's a smaller venue. It's more like an orchestra type of venue. So yeah, so it's pretty dope. There's the acoustic in there is amazing. So to see Young Weekend, perform was really dope. I went to see him have a performance, and I was telling Hav that it kind of made sense for it to be what it was, because his the performance that I saw him in, he had visuals, and he was very into the visuals, and it was kind of part of his performance. For each song it was different, and so it made sense for his performance on the show to be similar to that, because it was just so it was amazing. And of course, with everything that TV can do, there's just so many different things that TV can do that it just made the performance even greater. I've seen other people perform there, and they've done great as well. Was it Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel?
It was Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, well, yeah. What you said, not what I said.
Oh, okay. Fallon is the other one. Fallon's the one.
Great.
Yeah, Fallon is great. They're all great. They all have people come through and perform, and most I guess all of the performances that I've seen from their show have been really, really great. If you do not have Tidal, okay, so I always like to plug stuff like this because I feel like it's important for my music lovers, and I feel like there's a lot of music lovers here. So free Tidal is doing this thing where they're basically posting, they have on loop, I guess, concerts, and it's not on loop, it's like shuffle. It's like shuffle of concerts. So I saw Nelly perform Girls and Country Grammar. And I saw other songs be performed in between that. So it was just a really cool thing. They have it, I guess, now for everything that's going on. It's funny because people are like, oh, quarantine, and like this is all happening, and yeah, like, but like this, it hasn't even officially started. Like,
you gotta relax. Well, some places it has, places it is shut down. Claudia.
Exactly. No. No. I understand that. The thing is that actually, yeah, because some places they can't even go to stores.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I believe so. Stores are closed. Well, no. Excuse me, no, because I'm thinking New York. But no, I've seen it. Someone I follow in the park or whatever like that. So maybe stores are closed. Maybe they have curfew, things like that. They have a curfew. They have to be in by a certain time.
That's crazy. I've never seen us as a nation all like have to restrict certain things and cancel like festivals and like all that other crazy shit. That's just crazy to me. Just stay positive, man. That's something that I keep telling myself, and I guess just what I want to make a point in this episode is just to be positive. Like something that I was talking to Hav about is, you know, you have to have faith that, you know, you and your brand are going to withhold what is happening right now. You know, you just have to make sure that that same mission that you had when you once started it, you continue it even with this pandemic that's going on. You know, as as long as you are um doing your part, and as far as staying home and then using that time that you're at home to push your brand forward and you use that to your advantage, I feel like it's something that is not to be forced on, but it's something to definitely think about. You know, maybe not this week automatically, but I feel like it just comes to a certain time where it's just like, all right, yeah, you know, we all got this extra time now. We can't go out. We can't spend money like we used to because we don't know what's about to go down. So,
And what if your job stops?
and yeah, exactly. And what if your job stops, or what if they shut it down? Like I said, everything is moving so quickly, so one can only be so careful. So you have to just play your part, but as far as the brand goes as well, cuz like I said earlier, like this episode, not that I didn't want to do it cuz it's never that. It's never I don't want to do it. It's I had such a long week. You got you there's like paranoia, there's different stress levels just happening. You know, you're at work, you're you're hearing things, you're watching things, and it's just something that you just got to be mindful about it. And I always try to like remember that with this podcast, like this is like, I guess like when I, cuz I used to blog. So when I used to blog a lot about how I was feeling. And so that would be very therapeutic for me. And so this is very therapeutic for me as well, because I mean, I'm able to I guess like just put it on the drawing board some of the things that I'm just feeling, and just like kind of see how it is, cuz sometimes you just have to say it out loud. I just happen to say it to a whole bunch of people. And then I get text. I came across this question called, and it says, "How do you feel about the major decisions you've made in life?" So the major decisions in your life include what you decided to do after graduating high school, what you decided to do the time after that. Did you decide to go to college? Did you decide to work a job? There's many major decisions in your life, and there's also marriage. There's also kids. There's also even just, you know, going on a business venture on your own. And so for me, I feel like a lot of the decisions that I've made in my life have just shaped me into who I am today. And they made me who I am today, and they've made me be able to, I guess, differentiate certain situations that I encounter in, um, because it's just like I kind of know how this plays out, or
You've
I
seen it more
know,
than once.
or yeah, or I've seen it more than once. Or another thing as well that I would say is that with the major decisions in my life that I've made, um I just know that I can always become better, because I remember one of a major decision in my life that I made was I was like, I'm gonna start with my own business. I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna start my own business. I'm gonna be my own boss, and um, that was a major decision that I made. I left a job that I was at for 5 years to make, and then going into that, and even though I didn't in the end become successful in doing that, it didn't even matter, because that is what shaped me into who I am today as what I'm doing right now, because I learned so many different things that you know, making that decision of I'm going to quit my job, and a major life decision of just that. And there have been some other ones as well that I that they cuz like some of them are even like just losing friends. You know, like lifetime friends that have been you've been friends with for a long time. Like even that is a major life decision, because you have to make that decision, like, am I going to stop talking to this person forever for real? you know? And so that's something that you just think about. And so yeah, so even with those type of decisions that I've made, I feel really good about them. I feel great about a lot of the life decisions that I've made, because like I've said, it just brings me back to the who I am today as a woman. So if you ever feel like, you're not happy with the life decisions that you've made, maybe write down those life decisions that you have made, and write something that you are grateful for in those moments, or even like how they affected you, however way they affected you. I know in the book that I was reading, Soul Coaching, I know in that book I learned a lot about that, about major life decisions in your life, and how they shaped you, and how to like kind of either rewrite them, because sometimes we have major life decisions in our life, and because it didn't go exactly how we wanted them to, you always put them or associate them with bad. And you don't want to do that, because they've already decisions that you've already made. You can't go back and change them. So once you acknowledge that you can't go back and change them, then you are okay with them, and you start to see them as good instead of bad. So that was something that I did with that book, and I know that it helped me a lot with a lot of the major life decisions, because I used to resent the fact that I decided to be my own boss. I remember being so annoyed and so pissed at myself and ashamed of myself for being like, why did you ever decide to do that? Like, what possessed you to do that? Like, and working from home the other day, I realized like, wow, like I realized that it wasn't that I wasn't good at it or anything like that. I just wasn't passionate about it, you know? Because it wasn't for sure. It wasn't certain. And it wasn't something that I was passionate about. So when you don't really put passion into anything, it's kind of like dead. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the 112 songs, like they put passion in them.
Passion's the water. I like it.
They, yeah, like they put passion in them songs, and then you're just like, yeah, oh, I need to know where we stand. Special thing called love. I know I do. See, before the show, I was actually like really singing the song, and so as soon as like I know that I'm recording, like my voice like goes like, "Mer." Man, that's something that I really want to like stop being shy about, is my singing.
Claudia sings better in the shower. No, I'm kidding. Head ass, face ass. No, no, no. I know how to sing now. No,
I
Claudia actually does. She does have a great voice.
I do. I get so scared.
All right. So what other things scare you? What other things give you anxiety?
Um.
Like today with me, like I did on my story, and I hit the chat. I was like, yo, because it kind of gave me like anxiety doing it.
Oh, like talking on your stories.
Well, just posting it really, like not doing like doing it was like all right, cause like I recorded myself before, like yeah, but like just posting it and being like damn, yeah. So what other things kind of give you that feeling?
Like anxiety. Honestly, posting that video, the Yo Pero Sola video.
It all comes back to it.
It
See
all.
podcasting, baby.
I mean, it does, because, um, you. I have a brand. I have some insecurities about myself that I like see, and then I'm like, dang, I need to work more on that. And so, you want the video to look as great as possible, and then you're kind of like seeing it, and you're kind of like, dang, you know, like, this little role, this little thing, or whatever. And then you realize that it doesn't even matter, because at the end of the day, it's just to like put a smile on people's faces, and mine, it put a smile on my face. And so just like the editing process and all that stuff, like, and then posting it, and you just don't know exactly what's going to happen when you post it, because the internet is mean. And so that's something that does cause like a little bit of anxiety. Another thing that kind of like gets me kind of like whoop, whoop, is is talking to like talking to like a dude I like. Like that kind of like gets me a little like a not anxiety, it just kind of like gives me like a little rush, and then I kind of like get into like a not like I don't want to say a ball cuz not a ball. It kind of like I get more timid. And then I'm like, "Oh, I'm like all of a sudden." And it's funny because but this is like something that happens with other people, cuz I've people have said this to me before that I get a little shy when I'm around other people, and it's just kind of like if it's my first time being around you, then like I don't really know how like that's gonna go. So I guess like yeah, so like being around somebody for like the first time kind of gives me like a little bit of anxiety. um
That's cool. Anything else that gives you anxiety, or like I don't know, kind of when you're doing it, it's a little like what about the gym? When you're doing something or maybe doing a workout, does that do anything for you or no?
yeah, I would say
Or
more
maybe like even recording yourself doing something at the gym, or I know you go to
the
that boot
24.
camp.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
so like even posting there, does
um
what does that do it, or like social media? It's crazy how social we rely on social media so much, but it is
it like
a
causes us
lot
so
so
much,
much
like it's
anxiety.
so much easier to just not post.
It's the easiest thing in the world not to post.
It's the easiest thing in the world not to post. It's the easiest thing to do and the easiest thing not to do. Because it's so accessible, but it's so easy to not post. But um no, I wouldn't say that like recording myself. I guess it also depends because I used to I would say maybe now yes, because I'm not in like the fit that I was before, like with videos like that. Like I remember the videos that I used to do like when I was like working out like crazy, like my body looked insane, like you know what I mean. So then like now it's not so much anxiety, it's just more like it goes back to like an insecurity. And I don't want to even call it an insecurity because I love my body and I love how I look. It's more kind of like a thing that I'm just like aware of. You know what I mean? I'm aware of it. I'm aware of that there's some things that I need to work on when it comes to my fitness so that I can't be too hard on myself. Another
Yeah,
thing,
you're real with yourself. You know that you ain't a pro at it. Or
yeah, and then but sometimes what gets me upset is that like I feel that there's times that I'm like, damn, like you used to be able to do this shit so easy.
like where you see your muscles deteriorate, I guess.
Yeah, like you used to be able to do this so easy. Like why is it not even like deteriorate? Like there are certain workouts that I'll do that I'm like, yo, I used to be so good at this. Like I was so athletic with it. And
Mm.
now that it's not that I'm not athletic with it because I have the muscle memory behind it, but at the same time it's like I'm not doing it like how I was doing it. So it's kind of like you feel like not that you're starting over, but kind of like yeah, like you're almost learning again, you know?
For those in the back that are taking notes, let's ask the real tough questions. What qualifies a good quarantine partner?
What qualifies?
I came today.
My dog came through today. Qualifies a good quarantine. Okay, so good music. Like we have to be able to listen to good music.
Musically have to be inclined or similar taste. Well, I'm saying like both, right? Like yeah,
Oh, then like
yeah.
I mean, yeah, if they got good music taste, and we can exchange aux chords. I think it will be great. I mean, if it's gonna be a long time, then
But also, it's still some vibes. I'm just saying.
true. Um.
Just maybe not the ones you always play. Like, oh shit, I do like that song off that one album too.
Oh, true, true, true. But you don't always play, cause and that's how you kind of like get to know what they listen to. So you'd be like,
You get
oh,
in that
that's what you
bag.
listen to. You get it.
All right,
And
so music. What else?
um.
What else? All right, music. Right. Like it starts and ends there, guys. All right, episode.
So I would say yeah, no music. Someone who enjoys cooking.
Oh, he has to know how to cook.
I mean, yeah, cause I'm gonna be cooking too.
We are in quarantine. Okay, keep on
Yeah,
going.
so yeah.
So cooking,
So
music,
cooking, music.
and you got to cook with music on.
Oh,
So,
exactly. And
but that's a different vibe. You know, you're not playing those vibes later on. You know, there's cooking vibes, there's cleaning vibes, there's
exactly.
beach vibes, there's quarantine vibes.
The quarantine vibes will
So,
have a lot of babies.
hey, I'm gonna see. We're gonna see a Quarantino walking around pretty soon.
A quarantina. That is a fact out here. Y'all be careful though. And I was gonna
Yeah,
say
give us one last
I was
thing.
gonna say one more. Dang, I'm a really like Joe Budden fan. So,
So you gotta listen to the podcast.
so
All right. So
yeah.
you're on a stranded island. You can only take 3 CDs. What CDs you taking?
3 CDs, Reasonable Doubt.
Boom. Reasonable Doubt. Over. Shout out to Rock. Shout out to and Jay. You killed that Jay Electronic album. We was just talking about it. God level.
Dang.
Second album.
Graduation,
Graduation.
Kanye.
Kanye. Okay. Staying in the family with it. Rock La Familia. Okay, Claudia.
Stranded on an Island.
Yeah. Stranded there.
I want to pick a girl so bad, but I really want to pick the Bad Bunny album.
Bad Bunny, baby. So there it is. So Bad Bunny. Which Bad Bunny? The newest one?
Yeah.
The newest one. All right, cool. Dang, I had a follow up question. Well, all right.
I
So
love these.
yeah. So who would, dead or alive, pick 2 people to smoke with? Who you smoking with?
To smoke with?
Yeah.
Dead or alive? Alive, my dad.
Oh wow. He was just talking about that too. That's kind of crazy. Player, don't listen. I hope you ain't listening.
Alive, my dad. Dead, my grandpa. My abuelito Rene. That'd be dope.
I think I know the answer to this answer. But what who would you want to see perform, dead or alive?
Beyonce.
Wow. Okay. I thought you were gonna say Biggie.
I would love to see.
I know you would love to see him.
You know what? I want to see Biggie. I would love to see a Biggie Jay-Z concert. That's been my favorite. That's been like a vision of mine, always, and because I want them to perform Brooklyn's Finest.
Damn, that would be classic. I wonder if they ever did perform that. We'll ask Jay
I
when
think they did.
they did.
I feel like they did. I feel like I've probably seen it.
We'll ask Jay about it when he comes.
For real.
Bam. Okay. Well, who would be? Would Jay-Z be the top guest for the podcast? Who's a dream guest for the podcast?
A dream guest. That's funny because I asked the NWO podcast this question for their 100th episode. Dang. I don't know, because honestly, one of the first people that comes to my mind is my mom. But I guess,
That's awesome. You're awesome. She's way better than I am, guys.
I would want my mom because I would feel like it would be so funny. Like, I would think that, and she would never do it too. Like, it would have to be, because like I believe that these other people would be on the podcast. Like, I believe like Jay-Z would be on the podcast, and like Wale, and like all the people that I envision in my head be on the podcast eventually is gonna get up there. So it just takes a lot of hard work, and also interviewing more people. That's something that I need to get back into. It's not that it just hasn't happened. It just hasn't happened. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
what would X etiquette look like in your world sphere, the POV, if you will?
Okay, so X etiquette in the way that I believe.
But how do you want the X to act afterwards? That's what I mean by etiquette. You know, fuck all that shit. Shout out to JVP. No, I want to know, how do you want, and shit, asking for a friend, asking for my damn self. What would you want the X to kind of move, act after the breakup properly? Because sometimes we fuck up. All of us fuck up sometimes in the breakup. It's very emotional.
Well, my favorite is for them to leave me alone.
Leave you alone. But what does that look? What does that consist of? Leave you alone, like they don't text you?
They don't text me.
What about, okay.
We don't follow each other.
All right, so we automatically unfollowing each other?
Yes.
Are we blocking each other?
I don't think it's necessary if you
Okay.
can control yourself.
Okay, so if you control. All right. So, all right. Okay.
Yeah, so pretty much that's
What about texting? Well, okay. So what? Okay. No. That's week one. Week one, we unblock. We unfollowing.
yeah, because eventually that
What about 6 months down the line? Hits you up. What's an okay response or or text
okay
message?
time
No, no,
or
no, no,
okay
no.
text message.
Like a text message that you're willing to receive from your ex.
um,
We're
I
asking the tough questions
you
here.
you are because I I don't want people to know this. But okay, so I'm very like black and white. I'm very like you ain't gonna talk to me. Like don't talk to me. I don't care.
You ever?
Yeah, I don't care if you're telling me happy birthday. Like if we are done, we are done. That's how I
So you don't
am.
even want the happy birthday.
Do not tell me happy birthday.
Even if your birthday was like like we your birthday's in June, like we broke up like the week after June, and a year passes
We
by.
have nothing to talk about.
So no words from the ex. That's ex etiquette.
Yeah, that
Okay.
to me that
Act-
to
act-
me that is my
Act like you're
etiquette.
erased, completely wiped away from
It's
history.
not even that okay because like sometimes this is what I see. That there have been times where like the person will want to be like there's a person who one of the exes wants to continue being friends, and then the other person is kind of just like why do you want to be my friend? Like if you want to see how I'm doing and like all of these things like that, like and we follow each other on social media and you feel the need to go ahead and reach out, by all means, I don't have anything against that. But if you're in a relationship and the last thing that I would want is for me to ever be caught in between a relationship, so as far as like ex etiquette goes, like if it's like I haven't seen you in a minute, or like I said, the whole Instagram thing, I feel like Instagram kind of like breaks that barrier. If you can't speak to the person through text messaging because you're in a relationship and you're using Instagram, then it's a problem.
Okay, we're gonna shift gears because we're gonna wrap up in a little bit. See you guys in the next episode, 113. But the last question, and we'll wrap this up. Why are they in the DMs? What converts or what what converts them to get that number? Right? Y'all been DMing, a little back and forth. What kind of does it for the number? Is it 6 replies back and forth? Like, how many times until you drop the number? Or do you even like that question about like, oh, let me get your, like get digits and shit? Or like, yeah, I don't, or guys, you try to hit them with the, I don't really do the DM, just hit me up.
I've done that before. I've been a combination of all. I've been the one who says I don't like DMing. Here's my number. There have been guys who just directly ask me. They'll be like, "Hey, what's your number?" And then I'll give it to them and be like, "Use it wisely." Just like different is it's different. And then or there'll be times where like it'll be back and forth, and then I'll just give them my number. I'll be like, "Hey, like let's continue this on the phone, or something. I don't know. Like let's take this off of Instagram. Like if we've already been texting back and forth, like I want to know now if you got a Samsung."
That's probably why he in the DM.
That's probably why he's in the DM.
Don't ask me for my number, please.
How big are you? I asked the boys that. Okay, so one of my favorite pastimes, guys, and I'm being very transparent, is listening or talking shit with my brother and his boys on 2K. So now I don't have a mic and I don't hear nothing that they say. So this is
Sometimes you do though. Sometimes you do.
yeah, this is a disclosure, okay? So for the boys that possibly listen to the podcast,
I'm nervous.
I never hear what y'all say, okay? I only hear what Hav says, and the times that because there's times where like I'll get the headphones and I'll put them on and I'll be like, I'm here to whoop y'all. I'll talk my shit real quick, and then they'll be like, we'll coach you. And no, I never want to do that. So I never want to do that because it's like it's his game.
You're gonna get embarrassed, Claudia.
No, I wouldn't get embarrassed. Are you kidding me? Like I grew up playing games. Quit playing games with my heart. So that's one of my favorite things to do is like to listen in. So one of the questions that I had asked them was, would you date somebody with a Samsung? I know this isn't important. It doesn't matter. But think about it. A Samsung. That means you're going to have like green bubbles and shit like when you're texting them, and like I know that's not that big of a deal, but like one of the boys said, what did he say, that he get a girl with a Samsung doesn't know how to make the right choices.
Yeah, she clearly doesn't know how to make right. She hasn't made right decisions before.
She hasn't, so she might make another bad one, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so that's something that you would want to like move it from the. That's not why I'm moving from the DM to the phone. It's a joke, obviously, but I would like to know if you're over here using a Samsung, just cause then there's just certain things that you just can't do the same. We can't FaceTime, we can't nothing. So great, guys, this was an amazing episode.
It was so good. The light went out.
I know, and we out like the light, like a light. Yeah. So for the 112th time in a motherfucking row, it's your girl, Connie Renee, on your airwaves, and we are out of here. Bitch ass.